and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good and wonderful people of the tube. Hope today, hope you're feeling grand, and all is well in your world. Hello there, everybody. Happy Sunday, everybody. I don't think I've released a full-length video on a Sunday ever in my entire 10 years on YouTube. But here we are today because, and to be honest with you, there's probably going to be like an extra video next weekend as well, because there's something down there that I really want to show you that I'm in love with as well. But that's not until next weekend, so hold your horses. You'll see that then. Anyway, not about that today. It's about this beautiful golden guitar of joyness. This has been very, very kindly loaned to me by the awesome people at Chapman Guitars. This is the brand new ML3 Pro X Gold. You know, if you've been here long enough for POTT, you'll know I've got a bit of a thing for gold guitars, as well as white guitars. They're my favourite colours. White is my favourite, closely followed by gold. Especially on like something like this. Gold just looks amazing. And this is all gold. I thought these were originally just a gold top. But not, they're all gold. And it's a really cool kind of gold in the fact of when you get it into certain lights, it kind of goes green. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. It will change. It'll keep dazzling the camera, and the camera will keep going dark. I'll try and avoid that as much as possible. I can't lock the brightness aperture thing on this camera, sadly. But either way. Anyway, let's talk some specs. So, we've got a mahogany body, roasted maple neck with an ebony fingerboard, hip shot looking tuners, Seymour Duncan pickups, Wilkinson 2-point trem. These are just two stacked single coils, and that's a trem booker, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I think the ebony as well is Macassar, something like that. I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce it. Macassar ebony. Yeah. Anything else to say? I think I said mahogany body. Yeah, usual thing. Master volume, master tone, 5-way selector. There's not much else to say. The side dots glow in the dark, which is very, very cool, especially if you're on like a dark stage and you need to kind of see where you're starting on your next song. Awesome. Stainless steel frets. That's another thing. I forget what radius the neck is. It's either a 9 or a 12. I forget. I don't remember. Specs are online, people. You can look that up. But this guitar is amazing. I got this guitar on Wednesday, and the jam you saw at the beginning, I had this guitar maybe... It wasn't quite 5 minutes, but it wasn't quite 10 minutes. I'd had it literally no time at all. I took it out of the box, and I was playing guitar upstairs anyway, you know, kind of like, you know, what's the word? Preempting this one's arrival. So I was playing guitar upstairs ready, so when this came, I could plug it straight in and start playing. And literally plugged this thing in, and I was like, wow. That sounds amazing. That feels really good. It wasn't quite Happy Dave mode, so what I quickly did is alter the action to how I like it, alter the pickups to how I would have them as well. I don't want to do too much changing to this guitar. Like I say, this isn't, because it's not mine. This is just like this is kind of like just a, I don't know what you'd call it, but this is Chapman's Chapman guitar. This is only on loan, so I didn't want to change it too much, so I left the tremolo floating, which I don't like. But anyway, I altered the pickups to how I'd like it, and changed the action to how I'd like it. Other than that, I haven't done anything else to it, and started playing, and immediately had to grab a camera, record what I was playing, because it was just pouring out of this guitar. And the outro jam you're going to hear today as well, that was exactly the same deal. I took this guitar upstairs, plugged it in, this chord progression came out, and then I was away. And I don't remember anything else until music told me that's enough. You know, to which I obey, you know. Anyway, but that is one of the most important things I want in a guitar, is to be inspired by it. If I pick up a guitar and it doesn't inspire me to play it, or the sound isn't there, or whatever, not interested, not even slightly interested. This guitar made me want to play it, and I love this guitar. It feels great. Does have some negatives though. So let's talk about the negatives. So negatives to me, and again, this is to me, this thing. I don't like the Wilkinson 2-point tremolo. I have one on my Chapman Pro X, which I love and adore, and I have not done a gig without my Chapman Pro X since I got it. And where I am, that guitar is. You know, that guitar doesn't leave my side. I absolutely love and adore that guitar, especially because I've now made it more me as well. I've altered that guitar quite a lot. I've got a video on that if you're curious what I've done to it. It's mainly just aesthetic choices and certain things like moving the selector switch. But I don't like the Wilkinson tremolo. I'd much prefer something that actually kind of like... I'd prefer the option to have it... You can deck these things, but I just don't like 2-point tremolos. I just don't like them. They feel weird, and I don't particularly like them. On my Pro X, I have it decked to the body. It can only dive. It can't do the fluttery thing, which is what this can do, where you basically do that. Yeah, where it does that, and you can come up and down. Which I don't really like. I don't like that in a tremolo. And I just don't like the way the Wilkinson trem really feels. So that's a negative for me. I know a lot of people will love these things, but for me personally, I'd much prefer a 6-screw vintage style tremolo. I just feel there's more in them. And I feel they're more stable as well. I'm not saying this isn't stable, because this thing is like my Pro X. With the hip shot lock-in tuners, which I love these things. These things... If I could afford to have these on all my guitars, I probably would. But, you know, money. Anyway, but I just don't like them as much. So that to me is a negative. Not huge. It's not a deal breaker. If somebody says, "Do you want this guitar?" I would be like, "Yes." You know, it's not a deal breaker for me. But given the choice, I don't particularly like it. And I'm thinking of changing the Wilkinson 2-point trem on my Pro X to something with 6 screws, like a vintage style trem. Because I don't particularly like them. Another negative for me as well is the selector switch location. On my Pro X, I've moved it to here. It drives me mad back there because I like to use the trem so much on guitars. I'm a big tremolo abuser. The arm gets in the way of the selector switch. And because I like to flip pickups a lot, I like to go from the bridge to the neck and vice versa quite a lot. I'm quite active on the selector switch. That just gets in the way, especially if the tremolo arm's like there. Like you can't get to it, so it drives me mad. I love the tone where it is. I love that tone control there, and I love where the master volume is. That just drives me insane, and I just don't like that at all. But again, that's a me thing. You know, I know there's a lot of people who will really like it back there, and I know there's a lot of people like me who will not like it back there. Any other negatives? No. Oh, well, there's one slight negative, is the weight of this thing. This thing, having a mahogany body, is blooming heavy, people of the tube. This is easily £10, I would say. It's a very heavy guitar. If you have a good strap, you don't really feel it. I'm using this right now. This is a Diodario strap that I got years ago. And this is actually a really, really good strap for this guitar. It really holds it nicely, and it kind of takes the weight off you a bit, but you can still kind of feel it after a while. It's not too dissimilar to like playing a Les Paul. You know, a heavy like a custom or something like that. It's got that kind of same kind of weight, and you can definitely tell it's on you. At the same time, that's kind of... I can't think of the exact word, but it's quite nice at the same time, because again, this thing feels solid. You know, it feels solid. It feels so like nicely built and just like I say, solid. I can't think of any other word. It's just good. But yeah. Anyway, so that's the negatives. Like say, if you're after a light guitar, no. If you don't like selector switch, no. If you don't like 2-point tremolos like me, not really. The 2-point trem can be got around, and so can the switch. You just have to butcher the guitar a bit. On my Pro X, my guitar luthier, he routed out an extra bit in the cavity there so we can move it. But on the Pro X that I've got, been more of a natural finish, that was easier. On this one, I think you'd struggle because it's lacquer, and I think it would chip, and I don't think you'd be able to move that selector switch on this guitar, sadly. Anyway. Pros, though, sounds amazing. Oh my god, does it sound amazing? It's basically the same kind of setup as my Pro X, humbucker single, and it just those pickups are amazing. They sound fantastic, as you heard in the intro. But like the clarity and the way they feel when you're playing sounds amazing. The neck is to die for. It's so comfy. The stainless steel frets. I don't think I've ever played a guitar with stainless steel frets before, but they're great. And again, they feel this guitar feels so nice to play. Bending, chords, everything, intonation, amazing. Nut is cut fantastically. Like I say, the hip shot locking tuners are just fantastic. I would get rid of this other string tree because I like to be able to bend the G string behind the nut, and you can't do that right now. You don't really get anything out of it. But yeah, and it's gold. Like I said, I love gold. And it's got comfort cut on the back, comfort cut there. These cuts there in the cutaways. It's just arm chamfer. It's just a gorgeous guitar, people with a tube. It does have negatives that you can either live with or you can't. I can live with the tremolo. I can live with the weight. The selector switch struggles for me. If this was my guitar, what I would do is I would lock the tremolo down, hardtail it, and just not use it, and just have it as a hardtail, which is kind of sad, really, because I like tremolos. Or talk to my guitar luthier and say, could you move the switch there? Is that possible? And then just block this up like I did my other one, but I don't know. But again, that just really annoys me. It gets on my nerves. It's my biggest qualm with these guitars. Like I say, the tremolo can be got around. The weight can be gotten around with a good strap, but the selector switch location really drives me balmy. Because I like to be so active on the selector switch, it doesn't really do anything for me. Anyway, that's enough waffle. I've spoke far too long about this. This thing comes with a gig bag, I think. And I'm sure there's loads of people out there going, oh, you're just saying it because they've sent you a free guitar. Because there's always somebody with an opinion out there on somebody's video, because this is paid promotion. Oh, you're just saying it's good because you got sent it. I'm not, because I don't lie here. And if you've been around this channel long enough, you'll know I don't lie here. I say it how it is. If it's good, I'll say it's good. If it's bad, I'll say it's bad. I don't like doing bad reviews though, because that means I could turn somebody off from something that could be their dream. If I came on here and said, this is the worst guitar ever, it's definitely not. And somebody saw that and thought, I was going to go and try one of those. I won't now because Dave said so. And I've stopped somebody from going out and getting a guitar that they might have loved. Like I love my white Strat or my 62 or whatever. I can't live with that. So negativity, I don't really want to do that, because we all have to make up our own minds on gear we want at the end of the day anyway. But I don't want to have to sway people either way. You've got to think for yourselves, because like I always say, you're the most important person in the world when it comes down to buying gear. Not me, not anybody else. It's all about you. What you want and what you feel and what you like and what you love. And when you play a guitar and it feels great, oh my god, it does feel great. You just know. I mean, this guitar is such low effort to play as well. Like, everything about this guitar, it just facilitates you making music, which is what it's all about. I don't like guitars when they fight you. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, didn't enjoy it. I like guitars that just allow you to get lost in music and in the moment, and this guitar does that, and my other Pro X does that, and the guitars I own do that. I've just had a huge cull of loads of gear and stuff like that because, well, I needed money for non-musical things, namely transport, because you need transport if you're a musician. And I kind of trimmed the fat, so to say, on stuff I kind of can live without to stuff I can't live without. And that's what I'm looking for always in an instrument or an amp or a pedal, is does it inspire me? And this really did. Like I say, everything today you heard just flew out. That first jam was on Wednesday, and it, like I said, I had this guitar maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Redid the action, redid the pickups how I wanted, nothing else, and it just that was me. And today I haven't touched it since then. Yeah, I've played it, but I ain't touched anything on this setup. I don't need to. It's perfect. Apart from that. But yeah, anyway, people of the tube, if you're not scared of a heavy guitar, or even if you sat down with this thing, I mean, if you sat down, you don't really feel particularly heavy, and if you get a good strap, it doesn't feel particularly heavy. You start to feel it after a while, but the initial kind of onset is fine. But I really do like, again though, another thing is they ain't cheap, these guitars. But again, is what it is. I'm not, I can't comment on why people charge that much for these things. But anyway, either way, doesn't matter. This is a good guitar. Simple as that. It's a great guitar. Feels great. It's inspiring. It sounds fantastic. It's built like an absolute brick. You know what? And it does its job, which is facilitate you making music. You can't ask for anything else. You can't ask for anything more or else of that. It's just perfect in that way. And again, it's gold. It looks amazing. Anyway, I'm going to get it off because that's 60 minutes of waffle. I hope you enjoyed the outro jam. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you'd like this channel, please consider becoming a Patreon at Patreon. Links to that in the description box below. It's basically the thing that's kind of keeping the heart of this channel beating right now, because YouTube, with their we're going to take about 99% of your earnings, is just horrific in this day and age. Anyway, enough complaining. Link to my Patreon is in the description box below. There's also a link to my Bandcamp as well, where you can go and listen to some music I've done over the years with my band, Days from Sin Trio, or just me on my own. Anyway, enough waffle. Chapman, ML3 Pro X. Gorgeous guitar. Massive thanks to Chapman for sending me this guitar. Really like it. If I can ever afford one, I'm getting one. Simple as that. Anyway. See, I start playing it and the world goes away. And I forget what I'm doing. Because all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, where's that going? Anyway, shut up, Dave. Goodbye. Enjoy the music. See you later. I'm going to go and play a bit more.